This is On the Chain Live, and we're here with another action-packed show for you this evening, or this morning, or good afternoon, wherever you're from. So we're going to jump into it. You know, lots been made, Jeff, recently about this whole GameStop thing.
Yep.
We're going to get into it. We're going to kind of dig behind the scenes, bring a fresh perspective of why that's a warning to the crypto market, or how it could potentially be some sort of a warning beacon or a sign of some sorts. And then we're going to jump into Ripple XRP. We're going to jump into some of Ripple XRP news and some
There's a new lawsuit. Another lawsuit. And then there's some positive things too.
And there's some positive things going on. So let's jump right in. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain with Jeff and Chip.
What is going on again?
Hey,
what's up to Sean Campbell?
Alberta, Canada. What's up? Big shout out there. San Diego's in the house. No rain, but we're on the chain. I like it. It rhymes.
We check this out. We got a huge shout out all the way from Brisbane, Australia.
G'day, mate. That's my best. That's my best.
Omega coming in all the way from the front lines over in New York.
No, we got Holland in the house. This is amazing. We got Rotterdam, Patty Murphy's. Oh, Rotterdam. Okay, I've been to Rotterdam, so I've been to Rotterdam, Holland. So got Diddy. Been studying the chart of BTC since it was created. Well, good for you, man. I'm glad somebody's up on it. January 20th, 29th, 20th. Crazy. Every time it never fails.
That's right.
There you go. So he's got
big things getting ready to happen.
Right.
So Kelly Slade, what is going on? We got Darcy. Darcy's getting ready to go to bed. So everybody say good night to Darcy because Darcy is getting ready for bed bright and early.
Good evening, good night. I got all kinds of issues. Let me take myself out of here so I fix.
Oh, you got some issues. All right. So, hey, if you guys give a shout out to where you guys are tuning in from, we are going to get into a little bit of the XRP FOMO, a little bit of the XRP news today. While Chip is trying to get his things in order over here, I thought this would be a great time to get into and talk a little bit about, some of the interesting things that are happening in terms of adoption, where we are seeing actual expansion of the global arena. We've got governments that are actually getting into the digital asset space. We know that one of the main banks over in Russia is getting ready to roll out their stable coin, and they're writing up all the permissions required for the stable coin. So that is imminent. But there's something else, big that actually just came down the pipe here from Estonia and Colombia, where we have here, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to bring this up. That's okay. Colombia and Estonia have now uploaded the Bitcoin white paper to their governmental websites. Now, to me, that's a great place to start, because if you have governments uploading the Bitcoin white paper to their own websites, obviously, big things are getting ready to happen, and we know that these governments are trying to adopt and adapt into this digital asset space. What do you have to say about that one, Chip? Are you with us?
Oh, yeah, I'm 100% here. No, I just had some, my camera fail. When I restart, all my settings get crazy. But listen, this is what we talk about, mass adoption. Everyone's like, when's it going to happen? Well, if you looked back reverse like 2 years ago, would you think that any government would think it's a good idea to upload the white paper, Satoshi Nakamoto's white paper on Bitcoin? No, it's like we're living in a period of history right now. Just do this. Breathe in through your nose and exhale it, man, because you are living something that's never happened. We have a brand new asset class in over 400 years. This is big. And everyone's like, I don't know, man. They're like, when moon? And okay, yeah, we get it. But again, we're still early to the party. You know what it's like when you show up early for a party. You're like the first one there. You're looking around. You're like, man, am I in the right place? Because I'm early. No one showed up yet. Everything's ready to go. You got the drinks all set. The hors d'oeuvres are out. And you don't want to grab one because you're early to the party, right? No one knows.
That's right.
An hour later, the thing is popping, right? But you don't realize that right now you're early to the party. You're like the first person showing up. They're still putting the hors d'oeuvres out. So it's
That's right.
not,
Well, check this out, man. Even Representative Patrick McHenry
I
out of
love
North
him.
Carolina, he also happened to host the white paper on his own congressional government webpage. And he's one of the ranking members of the House Financial Services Committee, as we know, also chaired by Maxine Waters, who doesn't really know so much about what Bitcoin is. However, it is a good thing that, we're starting to see this excitement take place in the crypto space. And man, I think this is just the beginning. This is the beginning of great things to come.
Yeah, it's just not only is it just the beginning, but I think that when you start looking at putting it all together, it's complex. I mean, every time Jeff and I have to pare down the news, we have so much stuff that we have like a little sort of like a what do you call that? A keep, I guess. We have this place. It's a secret box. We put all of our news items in there. We try to prioritize them. But it's like some days, I remember doing this like 2 years ago, and it was like, I don't know what to talk about. I mean, there's not a lot going on. I mean, yeah, there was always some Ripple news, but it's just like a fire hose, man. It's like somebody turned on the fire hose. So it's
freaking awesome. Hey, you know what else is awesome is that we've got almost all of Ireland represented on here tonight. We got Dublin on here tonight, and we've got Galway on here tonight. We've got Elvez in from Dublin, Ireland, which is
gosh, I could go for a Guinness right now. You got me all excited now. I could definitely do a Guinness. But you know what I'm drinking tonight?
I was drinking Guinness last night. I love it.
I'm drinking in this container right here. I'm drinking yerba mate, which is I'm getting prepared for something that's upcoming. I'm not going to talk about it, but something that's upcoming because I'm a big mate fan. People are like, what are Americans doing in mate? But I am a mate guy. It's very South America, Peru, Chile, Argentina, Brazil. But it's something I got turned on to by an Argentinian friend of mine.
Check this out.
First
Huge
timer.
Shout out to XRP Bullish. First time here with the OTC community. So welcome from the northeastern part of England.
Wait, we're in the northeast part of England. I got to know exactly where northeast. What are we talking here? Northeast. Wow, that's right up in the. I don't think I've no. So throw in the city where you're from there. But so I want to jump into Jeff. So we've heard a lot about GameStop, right?
Yep.
I think a lot of people have heard about it. It's been everywhere. GameStop was a struggling company that was looking, their stock not too long ago was like trading at $4, and then it rode it all the way up to $3.25. And essentially what happened, the long and short of it is you had the big hedge funds who were shorting the daylights out of it, 135%, somewhere around there, 130% shorts on that. You had this little group this little band of gypsies in a subreddit group. And a lot of intelligent conversation going on in there, but they said, hey man, why don't we start buying GameStop? Let's see what we can do here. So basically what happened, I want to play this clip of one of my favorite analysts on, he's actually on Fox Business, but I want to play this because I think he nails this and I think it's a good thing. Just let's see if this, Jeff, let me see if he, let me press play. Tell me if you hear audio.
First of all,
do you hear audio?
Yeah, I hear some audio. Might need to turn up the volume just a tad.
I don't know how to do that. Unfortunately, it's just
yeah. Maybe there's no way to do it.
Set on there. There's no way to do that.
Dang.
I hate when they do that because you can see it's turned up all the way.
What are you playing on? Oh, there you go. Yeah, go ahead. We can turn up our volume.
Let's see.
All of this nonsense, all of this noise, all of this whining by Wall Street, it's making me sick. 140% of GameStop was short. I didn't hear one person on TV complaining about Wall Street trying to crush GameStop. 140% short.
140% short, Jeff. That is insane, right? So you had these
beating up on it, man. The Wall Street was making a decision on who to crush.
Who to crush. They said, who are we going to take down? We're going to take down GameStop. And Charles is on watch this, man. He goes on a tirade. I love this.
I told my subscribers, buy this stock, and they made a fortune.
Damn right.
I also told them to buy Virgin Space. Virgin, we took profits on that today. Fizz, that's up huge. Tangers is up huge. Neil, you can't allow Wall Street to short 75% of a stock, and nobody says anything. Crush these companies into the dirt, and then when the individual investor makes money, everyone's up in arms.
Right. So, Jeff, this is
man, underline that statement. I love that statement right there. When the individual investor makes money, everybody gets upset, and that's where you start seeing it. And Man, this is a perfect representation of what's critical right now, the here and now.
The here and now, and like let's listen to the back of this because he just continues on. This is like so well put right here.
Oh, they're going to lose their shirt. Don't you think people are trading? If it traded 80 billion shares today, people are ringing a register. I have a kid who bought a house. He made $50,000 and bought a house. So yes, some people are going to lose and some are going to win. But if they want to change the rules of the game now because the general public is making money,
there it is right there, Jeff.
Dude, changing. Look at that. Look at that growth. Go back to that thing.
Yeah, look at that.
Go back to that thing. Put that up there when you make your statement, because that's huge, man.
1,500%. But and this is the reason that we want to look at this, right? Because right now we've got role reversal. We have Wall Street, which is primarily the big guys, right? The big guys are deciding who to take down. And when you say who to take down, he means crush into the dirt, is what I think his words. Crush them, right? Because of all the shorts they had, 140% on shorts. Now, what do we have right now in the crypto market? We got the little guy. It's us, right? It's you, it's me, it's Jeff. We're in the market. We're the little guys. Don't kid yourself. The big guys are coming in. We've already started to see them move in on Bitcoin, right? You know, the Michael Sallies of the world, the MicroStrategies, you know, Square. They're coming in. They're putting the money into Bitcoin, and what are they doing now? Oh, now they're calling for Ethereum. We think Ethereum could go to 2,000. We think it could go to 4,000. We might see it at
10,000. They're calling for 10,000 Ethereum. Man, they're pushing it. They're pushing. And this one, man, I'll tell you what. You pull up the price point on GameStop, and like you said, there's a group of investors on Reddit, and these guys, you know, called it. Yeah, but you're talking about a price point. This is what's insane. I mean, this is, you know, we look at the crypto space like, oh, this price, you know, it can't go up there. This can never happen. You know, GameStop sitting on January 11th at $19, 19. All right. And then it starts some movement on the 13th. It's at 31. And this is where you probably started to see some piling of the investment was on January 13th, because you had, you know, a big bump up there, you know, as it went 15, 6 on the 19th and then the 20th. So this is where on Friday, all of a sudden you have some massive action on Friday. You know, I mean, it was crazy, you know, where things started really increasing. I might be looking at the wrong number. Sorry. I was looking at, I think that's volume, not price point. I could have been wrong. We say, no, that's the price.
Yeah, look at this.
So, but look at that. So it goes to 347. But on Friday, though, it closed out at what, like 100 and something? 147. So I think this is wrong. My numbers aren't coming up right here for some reason.
That's okay. I can always pull it up here. But this is funny from Det Nabul. Says president of CEO in the NASDAQ. He was asking for SEC regulations. That must be a first. Yeah, it's exactly insane. I want to add this one more time. I want to finish this up because I think there's a lesson here.
After decades of the shorts crushing thousands of stocks into the dirt, I have watched stocks being crushed completely to zero, and no one ever whispered anything because those stocks didn't have Wall Street sponsorship. They
didn't have Wall Street sponsorship. You hear that, Jeff? He is calling them to the mat right now. Charlie King does not mess around.
And just think how they've been. Yeah, I was going to say, just think how they've been taking that approach.
The shorts have had their way with the market for decades. No one's ever complained about it. So I am thrilled. If you are going to try to destroy a company by shorting 140% of its stock, you have to accept the fact that individual investors are playing the same game that you're playing, and now you're losing.
That's it, man.
Bam, right there.
That's big. That's a big statement, and they're upset. They're upset, just like, you know, for the past, you know, while you have a bunch of these big institutions that have been beating up on the digital asset space, and they've been undermining the digital asset space. Why? Because they were late to the game. They're not in the game. And, you know, they were upset that individuals were making money, similar to the housing market. If you think about the housing market, you know, it got out of control, you know, with all the flipping that went on for a little while, you know, and you saw the price of real estate skyrocketing. But it was the same thing. The little guy was making way too much money in real estate, and they had to put an end to it. You know, just like this, you know, same scenario. And, you know, we have to be very, you know, cognizant of the fact that these guys are coming to the digital asset space, and, you know, they want a piece of it.
Look at this, Jeff. So Melvin Capital was one of those hedge funds that targeted by the Reddit board. It closed out its position. But look at this here. Melvin Capital closed out its short position in GameStop on Tuesday after taking a huge loss. CNBC cannot confirm the amount of losses the firm took on the short position. Citadel and Point72 have infused close to $3 billion and Melvin Capital to shore up its finances. That is a silly kind of a hit. Wow, that is a silly kind of a hit. And again, so you go like, oh, wait a minute. Has on the chain shifted to stocks? Not exactly. But I think what we're drawing some parallel points to is that right now we're in a market right now, the crypto market, which is largely the kind of investors that are in here, really the little guy, right? The people, the investors, the normal people. We're not talking about institutional, but institutional's coming in, and you know what they like to do? They want to turn the crypto market into Wall Street 2.0, and the way they're going to do that is pretty simple. They start hedging it, and Jeff and I just talked about it, right? They came into Bitcoin. Bitcoin starts moving down. What's the next thing they're blowing up, Jeff?
Ethereum. And then they're
Ethereum.
moving down the path.
They're moving down the path.
Hey, just a quick shout out to David R.
What's up, David
R?
Hit
the like button, people. Hey, just real quick, that's a really good point, to segue into. If you're brand new to the stream, and I believe a few of you guys on right now are brand new, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notifier. If you're subscribed and haven't hit the bell notifier yet, make sure you do that, because then you'll get notified. Obviously, you guys are, YouTube, but you'll get notified every time we post a new video or when we go live. And somebody earlier said, hey, how come you guys have such a long intro, which is that 3-minute countdown timer? That is because we have to take advantage of the algorithms. And a lot of times the notifications take about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes to actually go out. And that way people, come in, and then we can start with everybody at the same time. So hit the thumbs up as well, and we're going to continue.
Yeah, we're going to continue, but again, I think one of the things Jeff wanted and I wanted to do tonight was draw some parallels, because there are some really interesting parallels to look at that people may not be looking at here. And one of the things, so if you guys know who Chamath Palihapitiya is, he's a former Facebooker, but he's also a big time investor. He's the CEO and chairman of Social Capital, right? He's well known in the space, Virgin Galactic. And so he also was on CNBC. But again, it's amazing the parallels we're drawing here. As we cue this up, Jeff, I want to play this little bit right here, because he really nails it. It's so funny to see CNBC, Fox News, these business analysts who, it's very different than what we've heard. We always hear Wall Street and this stock and that stock, and they're not having it. When we see, let me go in here. Let me just share my screen here. I got to stop my share and then go back into it. And I want to, because this is so complicated the way you have to do this. Yeah, here we go. And then we make sure we share the audio. We go like that. And we hit share, add to the stream. So you should see this right here. Nice. I'm going to go ahead and go on here. And let's see if we hear audio here.
Next guest. He tweeted on Tuesday that he'd gone long through call options. Chamath Palihapitiya is the CEO of Social Capital. He joins us now on the phone. Chamath, thank you for being here.
Hi, Scott. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. So you tweeted yesterday that you bought $115 calls in GameStop. Can you tell me what your position is as of this very moment?
Yeah. Can I tell you a little story before all of that, or no?
He wants to tell a story, Jeff.
Why don't you tell me that first, and then we'll go from there.
Hear the story.
So this morning I woke up after spending all last night in Wall Street bets, reading about all of this stuff. I ended up closing up my position this morning, and I wanted to announce that I'm taking all the profits that I made, plus my original position. So I'm going to take $500,000, and I'm going to donate to the Barstool Fund for Small Businesses.
Nice.
But
that's
I really want to tell you, beyond the $500,000 donation or the money that I invested, which was not a huge amount in the grand scheme of that stock.
Yeah, but he made $500,000, including his original position, what he liquidated, $500,000, donated it to Barstool Sports, created a fund outside of the government. It's just
that's huge, man.
And it's just for struggling businesses. They go into struggling businesses. If you ever watch the videos online, they're tear jerkers, man. You see how happy they are that their business got saved, and that's what he donated to. And he's going, it's not that big of a deal. It's a huge deal
for the entire market. What I learned, because I think what I learned over the last couple of days is important for everybody that's watching CNBC.
So this is really what I like here. He says, this is what I've learned, but he doesn't say what he learned, right? So he baits the guy. going fishing, and he got one on the string. Watch this. This is great.
And that is?
I think that what you're seeing is essentially a pushback against the establishment in a really important way.
Whoa.
That's interesting. That's massive.
In a very important way. This is interesting. We see two well-known people coming out, analysts, Chamath, who's obviously well-known from the business world, and then you have Charles Payne, who's a well-known analyst and stocks, and they're not giving you your traditional BS. They're not bullshitting you here. They're not going, hey, what are we going to put? No, man. They're calling it real. So let's listen in.
You have a lot of people, and I would encourage anybody who is dismissive of this thing to go into Wall Street Bets and actually just read the forums. And I think that you're going to see three kinds of posts. The first kind of content are a lot of people doing some incredible fundamental diligence on companies, trying to think about long-term value. And in my opinion, many of them are doing as good and frankly a better job than a lot of hedge fund analysts that I work with. That's number one.
So what he's doing is he's defending the position of this group. He went in there, he started reading comments, and he's like, look, there's three types in there. The very first type are people that are doing their due diligence and outperforming even some of the best analysts out there.
The second are a lot of people who believe that, coming out of 2008, what happened was Wall Street took an enormous amount of risk and they left retail as the bag holder. And a lot of these kids were in grade school and high school when that happened. They lost their homes, their parents lost their jobs, and they've always wondered, why did those folks get bailed out for taking enormous amounts of risk and nobody helped and showed up to help my family?
That's right.
And then the third thing is a realization that
no, he's spot on about that, Jeff.
That's spot on. And you think about, the time frame of all that. And here you have, the growth of the digital asset space growing side by side, so you have some major losses. You see the big bailouts, stemming back. You can go back to 2008, 2010, but then there were, it's obviously happened before that as well. But I think that's the big turning point. We see this space that we're in right now, the digital assets, XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and all the others, is a response, to what has been happening out there. And now we're starting to see it over in this market.
Absolutely. And it's like he's going through the second group.
Instead of having idea dinners or, quiet whispered conversations amongst hedge funds in the Hamptons, these kids have the courage to do it transparently in a forum. And I'm not saying all of it is perfect by any means, but I think it takes an enormous amount of faith in the system to be that transparent, to talk about things, and then for each individual to make their own mind up.
But hang on a second, Jeff. What he's talking about here is transparency. He says that rather than backroom deals and Wall Street, how they all get together and we're going to go short this, we're going to go win together. They do this, right? I'm just saying, look, instead of that happening in the back when they do stuff like that, he's saying that the transparency. Why? Because when he's talking about kids, he's talking about 20 and 30 somethings who are growing up in a blockchain era, who are all accustomed to transparency, quickness, Uber. I have my phone. I'm doing it now, instant gratification, but there's a lot of tech behind it. This is a new type of individual, and they're doing it in the open, and he's giving them props for that. Go ahead and take that question, Jeff.
That's right, man. This is more of a comment based on what we see here, but so basically it's okay to short a profitable company into oblivion. Think about that concept, that they're the kingmakers out there trying to decide, who are they gonna crush just based on their trading. Think about what George Soros almost did, years ago to the economy over in England, when he was currency trading, and almost traded them into oblivion. Just and so here it's company wise, but it's okay. It's not okay for private investors to buy stock in a good company if Wall Street wants to destroy it. And I take it even further, that it's not just if Wall Street wants to destroy the company. I take it as the bigger institutions, from Wall Street to the banking institutions to government, are looking at the private investors. They don't want them to get too out of hand at all. You know, there's always a mechanism in place where they're trying to figure out how to take and minimize or limit your opportunities as an investor. I mean, think about the idea of being an accredited investor, right? And they're basically saying that people don't have enough common sense to, invest their money the way they want to invest it. Hence, this whole conversation of these, currencies being a security or a non-security as well. I mean, there's a lot of different variables to it. But if you're a security and now you're a registered security, obviously there's money at play, there's control mechanism, there's all these different components. But I think a big part of what happens is that they're always looking at the smaller guy and they want to keep the smaller guy small.
That's right.
I think that's a big part of it.
And a lot of the word they're floating around versus accredited investor was a sophisticated investor, and that's very, very.
That's big. I like that. I like it.
It's them being very arrogant.
It is. Yeah.
You're not sophisticated enough, and it goes back to what you were just saying, Jeff. You don't know what you're doing, but they just took down some major hedge funds to the somewhere in the billions of dollars, right? So let's just chop. I want to hear this third point here, and then we'll move on. But this is again, I thought this was really good.
And to do things, whether it's to buy and to sell.
Oh, sorry. I thought there was a little bit more to it, but that's what he's saying. But so he illustrates in a beautiful way exactly what we're talking about. He sees this as very interesting because they were doing it transparently. And what do we know about blockchain? Transparent. So, we're starting to see sort of a clash of these two things. But again, this is going to happen in reverse when we go to crypto. Now you have all the early people, the early adopters generally, in this case here, it's the public. But we can start
and they're trying to do it, Chip. They're trying.
They are trying to move in already. We're starting to see that, and it's funny because they want you to, J.P. Morgan will say, oh no, Bitcoin's bad and evil. Meanwhile, in the background, they've been working on their own digital token, and they're doing this and they're doing that. But again, this is the weird thing about slight manipulation. You go out and down talk something, and you get someone come on CNBC and says, "Oh, I don't like that," or over there in the BBC, they come on there, the financial analyst, and says, "Oh no, I absolutely think that whatever they say is kind of like they're the kingmakers, like you said, Jeff."
Yep.
And now
and be cautious.
And now we got little guys winning, and Chamath's saying, "Hey, it's not necessarily that." People are looking at this the wrong thing. He went through there. He went into the group. He's like, man, these aren't people that are just, this isn't a bunch of people like whales where they say, let's blow it up. Exactly. Let's pump it and then let's dump it. That's not what's going on there. These people know what they're doing, and he's looking at they're evaluating this stuff in a really good way.
Yeah, and there could be, on the other side, there could definitely be a big sell-off coming. There's definitely profits being taken off of GameStop. Went up to $347. Was up 134% today. 134% for a stock, up $199. In after-hour trading, it went down by $55, so it went down 15%. But people that got in early on, they're up huge and they're taking profits off the table right now. And that's big because, again, like you're saying, we're talking about, we don't see this happening that often from this type of, and it's, blatantly obvious. And lately I've been my eyes opened up to a lot of different YouTube videos in the stock space. And it's amazing what's going on because you have other stocks today. You have BlackBerry trading, also because of similar types of groups. You've got Nokia trading. The last I looked, I think they were both up close to 40% today. You have others that have been up. We talked about Palantir. Palantir had some, big movements over the past couple months. Would IPO'd at like $9, but then it's moved, and a lot of the momentum isn't coming from the big, hedge funds. It's not coming from Wall Street. Similar to the digital asset space, Chip, and that's where there's a lot of parallels right now, and it could be very well a lot of the same people.
Yeah, they're taking away the options for retail investors to invest in. That's a really good comment.
Oh, that comment, yeah. Yep.
Subjective and arrogant. Jasper there, yeah, absolutely. Hey, what's going on, Annalise? How you doing, Matt L? How's Queensland treating you? FYI, there isn't a part Chip in the CNBC playlist. Oh, okay, thanks. Yeah, that's because it's probably my I'm on my personal channel, but I want to show this. So, every once in a while, I like things that get people when they troll things on Twitter, not in a way to be harmful, but I found a lot of humor in this. Everyone knows Peter Schiff, how it's Peter Schiff versus all the Bitcoiners. He's always taking their, getting their goat or the goat or whatever they say. He says, the market has spoken. GameStop is a much better store of value than Bitcoin. After all, it's already up over 20 times so far in 2021 compared to Bitcoin's measly 5% gain. Michael Saylor should be urging corporate CEOs to plug their balance sheets into GameStop instead of Bitcoin. That's funny, Jeff. I thought that was
Peter Schiff. Peter Schiff.
Funny,
he's ridiculous. He's another one of those guys.
But but you see, he's making a really good point here. It's like, so whatever the new trend is, what he's saying is, hey, by the way, if we're gonna go by what's up, because he's always saying, well, if you look at how much Bitcoin's up by comparison to gold, right? So now he's flipping the table, saying, well, if we're gonna go by those rules, then in 2021 we got to go with GameStop, and you should be going all with all your chips in, right? That's what he's saying.
That's right. Hey, check this out. So Brian N over here, don't you find it funny how quick the SEC is jumping in on this GameStop trade? I mean, we saw GameStop stop trading on Friday because of the increase in valuation there, the price point. I mean, so this is a good statement. Why is the SEC getting actively involved in it? Ripple, begging for years for some regulatory clarity, getting involved with the regulators, getting involved with Congress, trying to bring regulatory clarity, and the SEC sits on their hands for 7 years, but now they want to act. So in the last statement there, I guess they're only there to protect Wall Street when their big claim is to protect the retail investor, but not so fast.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's actually a really good statement, Brian. I thought that was really spot on. What's going on right now. Look, it's 2021. I mean, we're barely a month into this puppy, and man, there's so much going on. We got the Prime Minister of Italy resigning. We got governments on. You got what's all the uprising in Holland. And we have the UK. We got Australia. It's just like. You can't even get 10 minutes without stuff just blowing up. There's a lot of stuff going on out there, but I think really we drew the parallels, on this thing. Jeff and I kind of, break it down in a way that, let's pay attention. Let's be open. Let's be honest, and let's teach other people, right? If you've been in the space for a little bit, you need give somebody else a hand up. When Soulja Boy was out there saying, hey man, I'm trying to get XRP. I've been in long on Bitcoin for a while, but I'm trying to get XRP. I saw two types of people. I saw people reaching a hand out. Hey man, I'll show you how to do it. And then other people laughing. Don't laugh at people. Listen, when somebody's asking for help in crypto, remember how it was when you got into it. You were like, I don't know what's going on, and maybe that's exactly the way you're viewing this whole DeFi market space. With Flare. And and all the stuff that's going on there, you'd be like, I don't know, it's kind of. Just know that you got to help other people, and that's if we teach other people, and you become a teacher out there, not in the sense that you're going to be like on a, and over here, we, a whiteboard, not necessarily. You just want to be able to help somebody if you can, right, Jeff? Am I saying that right?
Right. That's exactly right.
Ed is always
in, and he's always down with OTC.
Damn right.
And I just wanted to give a shout out to. Get something on my eye.
I love that. He's like it's almost like he's doing like a salsa dance or something. I almost feel like he's gonna do a spin move there. Love it. Love it, Ed.
Give a shout out over here to Lady E.
Lady E.
Glad to have you here. Annalise came in here as well.
Good morning to you, Annalise.
Oh yeah, good to see all you guys coming in here.
Wait, I saw another good comment here. I gotta find it. Yeah. Oh, I hate when I can't. I hate when you know what I wish there was like a green room where you could just queue them into a green room so that you could go through them. Yeah, right here. Look at this. He says, "Can we throw?" BZ Comedy says, "Can we throw all the politicians and bankers on a Catalina Island? Just leave them there." Yeah, but then nobody would want to go to Catalina Island. You see what I mean? You don't want to. I think it's got to be something like Iceland or something. No offense, Iceland, but
no, we don't want to send them to Iceland, but it'd be nice to put them. We can, put them. Greenland's a good spot.
Greenland,
we can put them someplace and say, hey, when you guys are done doing the people's business, then we'll let you go home. But until then, you guys don't get to go home.
Which means they stay there, which I like. I thought it was pretty funny. That was a pretty good one, man.
Hey, did you see Real King is saying, can you speak on Hester Pierce's recent comments on the SEC's action stopping innovation? Did you see the statement?
I've had that on. I've been wanting to do a video on that. It's actually been on my list. I put it on. This was actually a week ago. Last Wednesday, she spoke at a conference. Let me see if I still have it here. I still have it. Let me see if I can find it. Where is it? Anyway, there's a really good post on that. But no, she talked about the fact that we do not want innovation to leave the country. We do not want to push them out the door.
Right.
Well, that's weird, Miss Crypto Mom over here, because that's exactly what you drop this. I'm seeing so much inter-group, or whatever you want to call it, intercompany, inter-organizational conflict. Hester Pierce she's got the flag, Jeff, and she's waving the flag. She's like, crypto, I'm crypto mom, I'm crypto mom. And meanwhile, you got the giant foot coming down, Godzilla foot, yelling over there. So it's like, what's going on, man? This is like a bipolar organization, the SEC. Crypto mom's waving the flag about how great crypto is, and meanwhile you got all the directors are leaving, and you got Gary Gensler coming in, and Gary Gensler's like, professor, and I am very smart, and I will know all about crypto. And we're like, okay, man, so the first thing you ought to do is put a stop to this thing, back it up a little bit, swallow a little, pride.
Oops. Sorry.
So I want to learn a little tirade there.
Let me pull this one up. This is another one. So we're talking about government, and one of the things that we've seen over the past year, 2, 3 years is that there are members in Congress that get it. There's members in Congress that have been very educated on the digital asset space, on the growth of the digital asset space, that have been pushing and trying to bring about regulatory clarity. And we're not talking, to me, there's a distinction between regulations and regulatory clarity. Regulatory clarity gives us a framework to operate in, that we have a clear understanding. Regulations are what the government imposes on people or business or entities in order to fine and collect money. So we should specify that, but regulatory clarity. But this one, I thought, it's interesting here. Let me see, how do I pull this one up here?
You can blow it up in the corner, bottom right. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. So hang on a second.
We can hear
it.
Good deal.
Here we go.
This is money, man.
I've been working on it because I have a staff that is incredibly committed to looking forward.
And I should say, this is Congressman Tom Emmer.
He is on point, Jeff.
He's what?
On point.
He's on point.
Rather than having a government, which quite frankly has been used by different actors in different marketplaces to leverage their bottom line. In other words, to protect the status quo. This is not the status quo. This is looking forward. This is where we're headed. The Financial Services Committee in the U.S. House of Representatives has quite frankly been leading Congress's investigation into digital assets and blockchain technology. However, the benefits, as you point out, Julie, go far beyond the quote money aspect.
So that's big, and one of the things that he's saying here, Chip, is that the Financial Services Committee has been leading. We know that there's been multiple bills that have gone there.
Exactly.
And Tom Emmer has put multiple bills in front of Congress, as has Warren Davidson, as has Darren Soto. This becomes a bipartisan effort. And it's very, very important, as we go through it, and really understanding, that there are, people in Congress and government that do see the benefit
of digital assets and cryptocurrencies. The real value is in the idea of an open public network that's not simply limited to currency, securities, or commodities. Bitcoin was the first implementation of a network open to the public, reinforced by its own participants, and capable of letting two participants interact with no middleman. Imagine a world where we can actually have trade value for value without having a middleman that takes some percentage of that deal. That's what I was talking about earlier, eliminating the friction of a payment system and efficiency of settlements that could save billions of dollars and, quite frankly, introduce a whole bunch of new people that currently are underserved and underbanked.
What do you think about that, man? I mean, the statement that he's talking about here rings, it just sounds very, very familiar.
Well, it does sound familiar because if you remember, it was about, I think it was in October, maybe my time frame's wrong, but you had Tom Emmer on there with special guest who? Brad Garlinghouse, right? So he's a big fan of Ripple. They've been on things together, but he's talking about a couple things here. Unbanked, right? We know who's big on that. So I mean, there's a cryptocurrency. There's a lot of tokens that are going to serve the unbanked. It's going to be fantastic. It's not just XRP or XLM. There's going to be a lot of them. There's plenty of room for everybody. But the other thing he starts this off with, we need to look forward, not backwards. And we always talk about legacy stuff because everyone's always like, hey, check that out, Jeff, what's going on over there? Everything's legacy. You can't have legacy. And you know what? For once, it sounds like great. We've been hacking, and giving a hard time to Congress and everything else. But you have some people like Tom Emmer, Darren Soto, on both sides of the aisle. They're in competing parties. They don't care. They want innovation, right?
That's right.
So yeah, I would throw the rest of that up there, Jeff. It's really solid.
So here we go. All right, so let's get some more of this here.
Like I said, it goes beyond money. That's the revolutionary aspect of this technology. The idea that
revolutionary.
And he said goes beyond money. You see that? So we're talking about use cases, right? Yep. Hello, SEC. Hang on a second, Jeff. Hello, SEC. Yeah, listen, your boy Tom Emmer's up in it. Yeah, thanks. Just got to tell Gary Gensler, put him as I'm going to move him to the top of my #1 list over here. But go ahead, Tom.
He's the man.
Keep crushing it.
We can develop an open network in which we, the individual, controls our own data. We, the individual, again, can freely interact with each other without having to trust gatekeepers or some centralized control mechanism.
Whoa!
It's one of the most major breakthroughs of our lifetime. And
that control, self-control, self-reliance, decentralized, be able to trade without a third party, without that centralized control, and it could be a game changer.
Yeah, he's spot on about that. And the other thing, the thing about it is if you had a guy like Tom Emmer and you had Darren Soto, and they can enroll other people in this vision instead of this petty fighting and goofiness that they're running around doing, if they could have been enrolled in the vision of how do we go forward instead of looking back, because I only see a lot of stuff looking back. How do we go forward? And if that were to happen, we wouldn't even be talking about it. SEC wouldn't, Congress would have done the right thing and they would have legislated, and that's probably what the SEC was thinking all along. Like, hey, maybe Congress is going to come back, get something in the House, goes through the Senate, gets signed, and it becomes a law, and then now you have regulations to build off of, right?
Yep. Yeah. Hey, I just want to put this up. I think it's important because I've seen a couple people, talking about, and the one thing I think is important. This is a great statement from Jake from State. I've started to diversify away from XRP into Stellar and others, only because my XRP bag is packed. But I want to highlight the concept of diversification and being diversified, and that's something that I heavily believe in, it being diversified, because you always have to leverage your position, no matter what it is, because one day something is down, something else is up, one day, you could have everything could be down, but then you might have a contra that's up, so you always have to be in a position where you're diversified and leveraged well. And to Jake's point, why not leverage XRP and Stellar? They're both building in the space. Why not leverage XRP, Stellar, and Bitcoin? Why not add Ethereum? Why not add some stocks to it? Why not add some other things to the portfolio? And now you're not reliant on any one thing. Imagine the stock market takes a crap and all of a sudden everything's in the red, right? And you're looking at your portfolio and you're like, oh my God. But then you look at your digital asset portfolio and you're like, look at this, we're leveraged well, the balance, so you're, always kind of it puts yourself in a better position. You're decentralizing your investment.
That's well said, Jeff. I have nothing to add to that. I want to jump back because I forgot who it was that just said this, but SEC Crypto's mom demands innovation, says you can't prosecute an algorithm. Did she mention that to Jay Clayton before he walked out the door? Anyway, the commissioner of the SEC, Hester Pierce, told the audience at the CFC 2021, which is last Wednesday, that crypto regulation should be focused on innovation. That the U.S. should be #1
Right.
She spoke at this a virtual blockchain conference last week. She said she discussed the prospect of working with a new chairman and blah, blah, blah. But then she says this. There have been quite a few changes in the last year, so I think a change in leadership is a good opportunity to take a look at those changes. Now, that tells me right there, Jeff, that there was definitely an out of alignment and there was conflict within the SEC. You can't be saying, "Hi, I'm Crypto Mom," and then you got the chairman of going off and basically leveraging a lawsuit. And she says, including institutionalization. We've obviously seen the price of Bitcoin rise quite a bit. We've seen a lot of activity in the DeFi space, and I think all of these things will provide a nice framework against which a new chairman can take a fresh look at questions across the board. I think what she's doing there is she's kind of setting this up a little bit.
Definitely teeing it up.
It's a little bit of a precursor, right? She's saying, a fresh approach. She's floating a fresh new set of eyes, might see something different. I don't know. It sounds like, if you're a reader of like fiction, it sounds like foreshadowing to me, Jeff. I could be wrong.
But it does.
Sounds like she's signaling that something's coming, a signal.
Yeah, hey, talking about a fresh approach. Mikey here said, discover this channel by mistake. Best mistake ever. It's 1:45 here in the UK. It's worth waiting up for. Thanks, you guys.
Mikey, I love that, man.
Thank you. Yeah, that's an awesome comment. Thanks for putting that up there. We truly appreciate it.
That's
and
good.
Our subscriber base over in the UK is growing on a daily basis. Hey, if there's anybody in here from Michigan, just give a quick shout out from Michigan and check out the shirt I got here. Check that out. You recognize that shit?
Jeff. I will. Is it Frankenmuth? No, what does it say?
What's that? Hey, there you go.
It's
so you
Michigan.
Got the Michigan with a
UP
up there. Yeah.
This is how you do it in Michigan. You do this. This is when you live there. You go like, where do you live? And this is like when you're living in Michigan, you go like, where do you live? Oh, I live right here. Oh, I'm up here. I'm up here and there. And they say, oh, this is the UP.
That's
look, see that on your shirt. Back up a little bit.
There you go, cryptic right there. See you, Michigan, baby, right there. See that?
And you go right over there. You go, boom. I'm up here. I'm a Uper. I'm a Uper. So you live up there. It's funny because Jeff and I both lived in Michigan, but at different times. I was leaving while he was coming there, and it's just so we have this Michigan tie, and I love Michigan.
We got Corey, pure Michigan,
Michigan, baby.
And then we've got you, Luke's shout out from Germany.
Germany in the
Germany.
House. Yeah, Germany's going to have a new chancellor coming up too. I mean, I think Merkel's stepping down right in April, I believe. That's correct. Just stand up on world things. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of changes going on, a lot of stuff happening. It's a very, it's funny you read these comments.
Detroit, there you go, Detroit, right here.
Where are the hands on the map right there? Yeah, that's exactly
Detroit.
Where are the hands on the map? He knows the hand on the map. Yeah, I'm right over here. I live right over here. I'm over here in Detroit, and you go through Windsor. I used to cut across to New York, where I grew up, and
I used to do Windsor, and then I used to go through Sarnia. I'd go across the Blue Water Bridge.
That's exactly right. That's exactly where I used to go.
Where'd you live? You lived up in Rochester, right?
I lived in Rochester Hills, and then I lived in Troy for a little bit towards the end there.
Troy, that's right. Yeah, I was over in Royal Oak.
Troy, I mean, there's some clever people there, man. I got to tell you, I'm not going to say it, but you know where I'm going with that. And people in Michigan that know that area, they know which exit it is for.
That's 69.
Exit 69 to Big Beaver. What is
the Big? The Big Beaver exit.
It's a true thing, man.
Yes, and it's a real thing.
Someone told me that one day. I'm like, no, seriously. How do I? They go, no, that's it. I'm like, come on, seriously? And I was like, yeah.
Of course, I used to play a lot of 313 right there, Detroit.
Oh, Detroit, nice, Detroit. Love Detroit. Well, we have our Michigan fans in there today. 8 Mile.
Got a lot of Michigan fans over here.
I worked at the Tech Center up in 9 Mile there, so I worked at the Tech Center when I doing the tech back in the day. So I was going back a while, but yeah, I mean, I loved Michigan, man, and some of the best places to eat. Sushi's at 3 a.m. in Detroit. Is Sushi still there? Man, I used to love that place. But anyway.
Man, you know where I used to go? We used to go to the Old Shillelagh, downtown Detroit. Man, that was the best place ever.
That too. So 145 in Portugal. Great to have you in here, man. Appreciate that. And Portugal's beautiful, man. Portugal, and you know what? They make great wine there, Jeff. I don't know if this is like a known thing, but they have some of the. Yeah, and also I have
10 Mile right over there. There you go.
What's the most popular drink you have there? I have to probably grab my wife to get it, but it's a Portuguese. It's
not from Michigan. He's in Staten Island, but he likes 8 Mile.
8 Mile, the movie's good too. Yeah.
Jason, Big Beaver, forgot about that. That's funny.
Yeah, it's forgot,
awesome.
but that happened. So
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was saying because I wanted to segue into something pretty big. Are you going there, Jeff?
I don't know. We'll see what you're segueing into.
Not 100% sure when it comes, but I think it's magic, right? Yeah. I was actually going into something really cool that's coming up. But before we get to that, guys, we started a podcast. I think Annalise was asking about a podcast. But I know we've been asked about a podcast, but that is our podcast right there. And it's kind of cool. I mean, whatever you like to listen to it on, I'll throw it in the, let me throw it up here on the screen real quick. Whatever you like to listen to the podcast on. So if like Stitcher or Google, whatever it might be. There it is. I just threw it in the chat. You just simply click on this little button and you get Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Spotify. Hey, dude, I'm right in the middle of doing a promo here, man.
I know. Sorry.
Pocket Cast, Big Breaker, all that stuff. Stitcher is good too. I just downloaded Stitcher again. It was on my phone, but then I found out it wasn't. And Jeff, I want you to lead this one off. Let's talk about something important. Let's talk about
this. I was thinking about this. Virtual meetups, virtual conferences. I was thinking about that as you're talking about the other thing with a virtual conference. This Sunday, January 31st, virtual blockchain meetup. This is going to be the first. We're sponsoring it. Got everything set up, ready to go. If you go down into the description below, and I think we're going to post it here in a second, but there's a link to actually register for the meetup. We are on Friday. We will be, for everyone who's registered, we will be sending out a link for the event on Sunday. So make sure you guys click the link there, get registered for the meetup. It's going to be awesome. Crypto Eddie is going to be one of our guests at the meetup, but it's not really about everybody there speaking. It's about getting the community together in the first ever virtual meetup. We think it'll be really cool. And so we want you guys to attend. You're not going to be in a big room with like 100 people. It's going to break you down into little categories of maybe like 6 to 8 people. And then those tables are going to rotate. So you get to meet different people, hang out for a little bit. We're going to speak. We'll go through a couple different speakers, but it's going to really be about, the first time meetup like this in this space. And it's sponsored by On the Chain. So we're super excited about it. First one, and we're planning many, many more. So.
Yeah, I think you said you were going to dance or do something like that, Jeff, or no? Is that?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yep.
Yeah,
dancing on the tables.
Do a little dance.
A little Opa. Yeah.
Get down. Yeah, a little Opa. Get down tonight. That's right. That's what we do, some of that stuff. But it's coming up. It's going to be. We're looking forward to meeting. A lot of the whatever crypto you're into. I mean, a lot of times we focus on XRP, but we're not maxis in any way. There's some certain use cases we like. But look, let's get into a chat. Let's get into a little room and talk and sit down at a virtual table. Hey, how you doing? What's up? And we can communicate. It'd be cool. It's going to be a lot more fun if you put your camera on. You can either log in on your phone or you can do it. And you make up a name anyway, so we don't know who you are. If you like Scotty Bullish, maybe that's your real name. I don't know. I don't know if that's your real name. Peter Soyum, I don't know if that's it. Sweden in the house.
Sweden.
Yay, Sweden.
Go
Sweden as well, man.
And I had a call today with Switzerland. That was interesting. But what was I was just going to say, he kind of got distracted here with this whole, thought of everything going on. But I want to give a quick shout out to everybody here that's with us. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel yet, if you're brand new, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We're so close to getting to 12,000. So every subscription helps get us to that 12,000 mark. That'll be awesome. And then if you want to make sure you get notified, hit the bell notifier. And sometimes it takes 1.5 to 2 minutes to get notified when we go live. So make sure you guys hit that. And then also we are on Sunday, we have a guest coming on the roundtable. We're going to be recording it coming up here and premiering on Sunday, but it's a big guest. And it might be from one of the exchanges. But we're excited to put this together. So if we have no technical issues on Friday, the recording goes perfect, then expect that on Sunday. And we stream Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. What do you think, Chip?
That's well said, Jeff. I got nothing more to add to that All I have to say is you can see us here exclusively on
the
chain.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.